Est-ce qu'il y a Tremayne, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Un grand merci d'avoir accepté l'invitation de la Fringale Culturelle. C'est un plaisir de vous rencontrer. Vous publiez un deuxième thriller en France. Vous en avez publié un qui s'appelle Le doute et qui a rencontré un grand succès sur notre territoire. Déjà, le fait d'être publié chez nous, quel sentiment ça vous a fait?
Well, it's a great honour to be published in France. I mean, I'm a big fan of French literature. One of my favourite novels is Madame Bovary. So, it's an honour to be published anywhere, to be honest. So, I just like being published, really. But it's great to come to France, great to come to Paris, and it's very pleasing that the Ice Twins, or Le Doute, I think with the French title, has done so well. So yeah, it's good. Thank you.
Vous êtes un auteur comblé, tellement comblé que vous publiez aujourd'hui La menace aux éditions Presses de la Cité. Alors ce livre, c'est un thriller psychologique, mais ce n'est pas que ça, c'est aussi pour moi un roman d'atmosphère. Tout est basé sur l'atmosphère qui se dégage de ce livre. Comment vous avez travaillé ça?
Yeah, my main other job is I'm a travel journalist. So I travel all over the world. It's a great job. I'm very lucky, and I just love. Some places have this mood. You just go to a place, a house, a village, a coastline, and it'll have this incredible, intense mood. I don't quite know why, but there are these special places, and. The two I've written about so far in the two S.K. Tremayne books both have this very intense mood. The first one, in the Doute, this little island, it really exists. It's called Elian Shonach in reality. A friend of mine owns it. It's a tiny little island, and it's just as described in the book. It's this very run-down cottage on a tiny island with a lighthouse, surrounded by mud flats, which are really flooded 23 hours a day, so it's completely inaccessible most of the day. And when I was researching the book, I actually stayed there for 3 days, and it was horrifying. There was a huge storm, and I couldn't get off the island for 3 days. So when I'm trying to create a psychological mood, that's where I begin, with a location that has that intensity and that's almost a sense of horror or fear built into the landscape.
Est-ce que justement c'est le fait d'être là-bas qui a donné cette envie d'écrire cette histoire?
It's a little more complicated than that. I first went to that island when I was about 20 years old, so a long time ago, and I loved it. And it also turned out that it had been owned by a famous writer in the UK called Gavin Maxwell, who wrote a book called Ring of Bright Water about owning an otter, which was actually the best-selling book in the world at the time, in the 1960s. So I already knew this place in my imagination, this little island. And then I went and stayed there. So it became part of my life then that I would go back every few years to this place just off Skye in Scotland. So I knew it already, but I also knew that to get the full experience of what it would be like to be there in a storm in the winter, which is important to the book, I did have to go there and stay there, and it was genuinely horrible. So after 3 days, I abandoned it. I went to a nice hotel, but I did my 3 days. Yeah, I think it is important to go to these places and to be there, to feel it.